Bukidnon State University is a special place for teaching and learning. Its vision is to become a premier institution of innovative and ethical leaders for sustainable development. Its mission: the university shall primarily provide advanced education, higher technological, professional instruction, and training in the fields of education, arts and sciences, public administration, information technology, accountancy, law, and other relevant fields of study. It shall also promote research and extension service and provide progressive leadership in its areas of specialization. BukSU Quality Policy. Bukidnon State University is committed to produce globally competitive and responsible graduates through excellent instruction, responsive research, sustainable extension, and quality production for the highest satisfaction of its stakeholders. Bukidnon State University. Educate, innovate, lead.
Your educational and community-based radio station, BukSU 104.5. It's more than just music.
This is 104.5
BukSU 104.5.
Matod sa World Health Organization, ang Coronavirus Disease 2019 o COVID-19 usa ka respiratory illness nga pwede kang matakdan. Hinungdan sa simptomas sama sa hilanat, ubo, sakit sa kalawasan, lakip, labad sa ulo o kalibanga. Ang pasyente nga natapdan sa COVID-19 pwede magka-pneumonia o gikinahanglan nga dadon sa balay tambalanan. Apektado ang tibuok kalibutan ni ini nga sakit o giila ang COVID-19 isip pandemic disease. Unsa para sa matag pamilya ang COVID-19? Importante nga mapasabot sa matag miyembro ang mga lakang aron malikayan ang sakit. Tudluan, hilabi na ang mga bata o katigulangan sa saktong pagatiman sa kaugalingon. Ipahilayo sila sa mga miyembro nga adunay sakit. Ang mga miyembro sa pamilya nga adunay special health care needs sama sa asthma, diabetes o cancer, gikinahanglan nga mapalayo sa dagkong tapok aron malikayan ang komplikasyon. Kini nga sugyot pahibalo gikan sa Bukidnon State University og lokal nga pagagamhanan sa syudad sa Malaybalay pinaagi sa City Health Office. Provincial Disaster Emergency Operation for COVID-19 og mga estasyonan nga miyembro sa kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas Bukidnon Chapter.
Pag-ambitay daw ang kaulian, Share to Heal Season 2, the Bukidnon State University Social Innovation kontra COVID-19. Kini nga programa nagasiguro sa paghatag ug pagsabot sa publiko may tungod sa mga sumbanan, hagit ug oportunidad diha sa gitawag nga new normal o bag-ong normal. Kini usa ka pamaagi aron maandam sa pagsalmot ang publiko diha sa pagwagtang ug pagkunhod sa mga hulga sa COVID-19. Mga labas nga impormasyon gikan sa masaligang tigpamaba sa hilisgutanang lambigit ang mga pribado ug pampublikong sektor lakip ang ordinaryong lungsuranon. Paminaw sa pag-ambitay daw ang kaulian Share to Heal Season 2 diri lang sa BukSU 104.5 FM matag Miyerkules alas 9 hangtod alas 11 sa buntag. Daghang salamat.
Paminaw, paglantaw ug pakiduyok. Sa miaging episode, atong nasayran ang mga pagtulunan sa espirituhanong pangkinabuhi samtang nasa quarantine. Kini gipaambit ni Ma'am Mayra T. Abot ang mga pagtulunan nga nakuto sa panahon sa pandemya, kabahin sa business sector. O gisundan kini ni Miss Saira Ruz de Eran sa aspeto sa usa ka estudyante.
Okay, spirituality is about our belief in someone greater than us. It talks about our knowledge and relationship with God. Comforts me that I'm never alone in the midst of testing. Nandun man yung fear of the unknown, ano kayong pwedeng mangyari, fear of death, fear of ano kayong mangyayari sa family ko, yung gano'n. Knowing God loves me and that He promises me to work all things out for my good, it gives me hope. Praying to God, you can pour your heart to Him because you know that He listens. He is attentive to our prayers. During the time of quarantine, kahit hindi kami magaling magsalita, nagre-record kami ng video. So we post videos about the Lord and His message and His encouragement for us that they can watch on social media. And then, instead of hopelessness and despair, you have hope. You have positive outlook. You know you'll come out stronger. Pinakamalaking challenge ang mental and emotional aspect sa buhay natin. And strong spirituality will cover that. Sobrang napaka-importante.
Constant battle of balancing our spiritual and mental health, which is very timely, up to date, mutya na ang pagyapon na taliwala sa pandemya. And all in all, it affects us also of our roles of being there for others. Like, if this weren't challenging enough, we all had to grow up. Embrace new ways. Our way of life, which is emotionally taxing na rin. Like, siguro as a student, one of the spiritual practices nga nakatabang sa ako at to cope up with the demands of my student life in this time of the pandemic will be prayers. Everything will be made possible and easy. Like, makarealize na lang dyan ka at the end of the day nga, hala, nakaya ko to, nakaya ko na ako. There are so many ways and things that we should be grateful with our hearts for gratitude and appreciate the kindness and the goodness of the world.
Paminaw, pakigduyog ug atangi matag Miyerkules alas 9 hangtod alas 11 sa buntag diri lamang sa DXBU 104.5 FM ug Facebook Live. Ang mga nagkalain-lain nga hisgutanan aron kita tanan makalingkawas sa pandemya nga dala sa COVID-19. Kini ang Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian. Share to Heal Season 2.
Nasayod ka ba sa mga kabag-uhan o mga angay pangbuhaton sa atong pakigbisog kontra COVID-19? Unsa ang normal ug ang mga angay pa natong mahibalaan nga mga inisyatibo kontra niini? Ang Bukidnon State University hinaagi sa Office of the Vice President for Research, Extension and Innovations. Sama kausapa, magatagaw-taw sa kahanginan ug programa sa radyo kon Share to Heal. Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian Season 2. Usa ka programa nga magdala kaninyo og mga bag-ong pagtudun-an sa matag individual. Aron kini atong ma-apply sa atong tagsa-tagsa ka mga panimalay. Ilabi na ang mga angay nga buhaton o mga solusyon batok COVID-19. Paminawa o pakigduyog kada Miyerkules sugod karong Oktubre alas 9 hangtod alas 11 ang takna sa kabuntagon sa DXBU 104.5 FM. Pag-ambitay daw ang kaulian, Share to Heal Season 2.
Please welcome our hosts, Miss Nova 30E Agravante and Mr. Jade Harley C. Britannia. Pag-ambitay daw ang kaulian, Share to Heal.
At sa 9 sa bulan sa Pebrero tuig 2022, adlong Miyerkules na usab, maglanog-lanog sa inyong radyo o sa social media kini nga programa. Ubanimi ninyo taman alas 11 sa buntag kamo gapaminaw sa Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian. Ako si Nova 30 Agravante, usa sa ato ang pagsugod sa atong episode karon. Atong pasalamatan ang kinakusgang pwersa nga nagpaluyo ni ining programa. Firstly, ang ato ang University President, Dr. Oscar B. Cabanyeles, our program leader, and also our Vice President for Administration, Planning and Development, Mr. Dante S. Victoria Jr., Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Hazel Jean M. Abiwela, Vice President for Research, Extension and Innovations, Dr. Joy Molina Mirasol, siya usab ang atong project leader sa programang Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian, Share to Heal. Maayong buntag once again, ako si Nova 30 Agravante, magtutudlo gikan sa College of Arts and Sciences.
Ako si Jade Harley Britannia, faculty sa Sociology and Social Science Department, College of Arts and Sciences. Makauban ninyo karong buntaga ato usab pasalamatan ang mga dugang nga nagpaluyo ni ining programa. Dr. Jemeline B. Paulican, Extension Director, Miss Astrid Jill Agravante, Mr. Jake Peras, Miss Joanne Vivian Belderol Necosia, Miss Ana Ninfa Caballero, Mr. John Daniel Cheng, Dr. Marlon Frias, Dr. Estela Itaas, Dr. Marisa Manlagaylay, ug Engineer Manuel Chad Agurob. Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian Share to Heal is BukSU Social Innovation Project for the City of Malaybalay, Bukidnon, Philippines. Pag-ambitay ag kaulian, Share to Heal is also brought to you by the City Government of Malaybalay through City Mayor Florencio T. Flores Jr. and the 2nd Congressional District of Bukidnon, Honorable Jonathan T. Flores.
Mayong buntag dinha sa imo partner Jay.
Mayong buntag.
Alang sa ato ang mga gapaminaw, katuyuan namo niini nga programa ang pagsiguro nga masabtan sa publiko ang mga recovery measures, mga bag-o nga kasinatian nga gakahitabo sa atong gitawag nga new normal aron kitang tanan maninguha nga makatabang alang sa kaayuhan sa atong komunidad. Ang pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian Share to Heal is a collaborative effort sa atong mga faculty members dinhi sa Bukidnon State University alang niini nga katuyuan.
Yes. Ug tungod niya na before ta magsugod, I would like to greet my colleagues in Sociology and Social Science Department, pinanguluhan sa among chairperson, Dr. Rochelle L. Amigo, sa tanang mga social science majors, ng mga students, and of course, sa mga sociology majors, pinanguluhan ni Ms. Princess Colleen Baguhin, the Nimbus Socios Mayor. Ug ato usab i-greet ang mga ever-supportive college deans, Dr. Lali V. C. Lobos of the College of Administration, Dr. Mercedita Villamayor of the College of Education, Dr. Maribel G. Valdez, my Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Nestor Cipriano of the College of Business, Dean Marilo Espina of the College of Technology, and Dr. Karina Joan Barroso of the College of Nursing.
Ato akong i-greet ang mga nakapaminaw karon partner Jay dinha sa ilahang mga radyo, especially sa katong mga motorela drivers, multi-cab drivers, and also sa katong mga naka-watch sa ato ang live stream karon. So, naa dinha sa ato ang DXBU 104.5 FM Facebook page o gi-share kini sa ato ang pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian Share to Heal Facebook page ang ato ang episode karon. Ang episode 13 ang mental health.
Yes, thank you. And today, we will be talking about mental health ubos sa tema nga, it's okay not to be okay. So with Dr. Jason Manaois and Dr. Mae V. Cañal, atong sugdan sa atong unang nga guest, si Dr. Jason Manaois.
Sa dili pa ta magsugod mga higala, nasa tay video message nga tan-awon o paminawon gikan sa ato ang Vice President for Administration, Planning and Development, Mr. Dante S. Victoria Jr.
Health information sharing has become during the COVID-19 or coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic because people need to learn about the disease and then act accordingly. The coronavirus 2019 pandemic has emerged as a significant and global public health crisis. Besides the rising number of cases and fatalities, the outbreak has also affected economies, employment, and policies alike. As billions are being isolated at their homes to contain the infection, the uncertainty gives rise to mass hysteria and panic. Amidst this, there has been a hidden epidemic of information that makes COVID-19 stand out as digital infodemic from the earlier outbreaks. Repeated and detailed content about the virus, geographical statistics, and multiple sources of information can all lead to chronic stress and confusion at times of crisis. Added to this is the plethora of misinformation, rumor, and conspiracy theories circulating every day. With increased digitalization, media penetration has increased with a more significant number of people aiding in the information pollution. There was a study conducted in China which examined the perceived trust of different COVID-19 information sources, health professionals, academic institutions, government agencies, news media, social media, family, and friends, and sharing of COVID-19 information. Specifically, the study investigated how beliefs about sharing and emotions mediate the effects of perceived source trust on source-specific information sharing intentions. Results suggest that health professionals, academic institutions, and government agencies are trusted sources of information, and that people share information from these sources because they think doing so will increase disease awareness and promote disease prevention. Indeed, the share to heal or pag-ambitay daw agkaulian is an ingenious social innovation ever conceived by Bukidnon State University. The program has proven to be a source of genuine information on how to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. What makes it more interesting is the presence of known personalities and experts sharing their knowledge about the various aspects this pandemic has brought to our society. Congratulations to the Office of the Vice President for Research, Extension, and Innovation for this unique and timely social innovation. Thank you.
Mga higala inyong nadunggan ug nabati ang mensahe gikan sa tuang Vice President for Administration, Planning and Development, Mr. Dante S. Victoria Jr.
So, good morning, Doc Jason. I am Jade Harley Britannia, and with me is Nova 30 Agravante. So, very interesting kaayo ang topic karon ug daghan yun ang makarelate ni ini sa hisgutan ng burnout. Karon atong makauban ang atong first guest. Okay, so of course tungod diyan na ato sang ipaila-ila ang atuang guest, no? He took his PhD in psychology at Ateneo de Manila University, a lecturer of psychology in renowned universities like Xavier Ateneo. His research interests includes mental health, psychosocial support and community interventions, leadership and organizational studies. He is currently involved in projects on community-based drug rehabilitation, MHPSS, or mental health and psychosocial support and workplace wellness. So atong i-welcome si Dr. Jason Manaois, Learning and Development Specialist, University Research Company LLC, URC, and Center for Human Services. Sir, maayong adlaw kanimo diha.
Maayong adlaw kaninyo.
Yes, sir. Sir, kaning sa pagpaklaro lang aning gitawag natag burnout ba? Unsa di ay kining burnout?
Kung atong tanawon no sa definition aning burnout, let me just define that as a psychological syndrome emerging from a prolonged response to chronic interpersonal stressor on the job. Ibig sabihin nito, as the person experience different stressor sa iyahang trabaho, prolong ani kinagdugayan, mahimo ni siyang burnout or kanang ato ang feeling of anong tawag nito, parang feelings of exhaustion, feeling of negativity in terms of work, in terms of being detached at work. At the same time, naturally feelings of inactivity or feelings of unproductiveness or lack of accomplishment at work. So murag nawadan ka gana sa imong pagpananabaho. So kana ang parang ato ang pwede maingon na definition sa work burnout na most likely ang ato ang mga empleyado karon kay pandemic man posible na kaka-experience ang ginatawag natin burnout.
Okay. Dr. Jason, unsay senyales nga na burnout na ang usa ka empleyado?
Okay, dagan-dagan siyag mga senyales, no? So first, we can look at it in terms of the physical manifestation of a burnout. Okay, so unsa-unsa maning mga physical manifestation. So we can look at it in terms of having, let's say, imuhang lawas, feeling tired or drained. Sometimes ang ato ang lawas maka-feel o kanang ginatawag nato na low ato ang immune system, dali ta masakiton. Sometimes maka-feel tag headaches, body pain, muscle aches. Usually po, kang mga tao na nasa burnout, na actually change in terms of eating patterns niya. Na loss of appetite. Ang uban po, grabe kay mukhaon og mga maskin unsa. Okay? Ang uban, pag burnout na po sila, pirmi lang sila katulog. Oo. Ang uban po na mga tao, ang ilahang pag-cope up sa sa burnout is that di sila katulog. Oo. So ang ato ang pagtanaw ani lahi-lahi ang cause or ang sign sa burnout sa matag isa katawo. Aside from the physical, na po mga emotional na mga senyales, no, kanang ang ubang tao, they also feel na failure sila. Okay, na po uban na naga-self-doubt sa ilang capacity to work or to perform. So naay mga feelings of helplessness, na trap or na defeated, so bugat gyud kayo ning ilahang gi-feel. Okay? So naa po ubang mga empleyado na detached na sila sa ilahang work. They feel that they are alone. Wala na silang motibasyon to work. Dili ni siya stress lang ha, kay ang stress manggod kay kanaganing kailangan nimo mahuman ang mga trabaho, so you have the energy to finish the things that you need to finish. So kay na stress ka buhat din mo tanan-tanan. Kung permi ka ing ana, so mawad-an kag energy at the end of the day, kay prolonged stress would result to this particular tinatawag nating burnout. That's why feeling yun nila kapoy ang ilahang lawas. Tapos kung kapoy kay ka, nega na dayon kayo ang imong pagtanaw sa environment. O kay nega namang kaayo, unproductive na ka, so dili naka-satisfied sa imong work outputs. At the same time, dili naka-happy sa imong mga ipangbuhat sa trabaho. So yung sense of accomplishment, nawala na. Okay? Makita po nato sometimes sa behavior sa mga empleyado na ay burnout, kanang procrastinate na sila, ilang wala na kay sila ga trabaho, gina-delay na nilang ilang dapat trabahoon. Ang uban po gani na ako'y na-observe na pag na-burnout na nag-self-isolate, detach sa ubang tao sa opisina, no? Naapoy uban na terminal lang gaka-late, terminal lang absent, sometimes skip og work. So these are the change in behaviors na usual nato na makitaan sa mga empleyado na mag-burnout.
Okay. Since naisgutan naman Dr. Jason, no, ang hinungdan sa burnout, ug of course the risk factors nga sa aning mga burnout ng mga employees, unsaon ka nato pag-reduce o pag-prevent sa burnout sa mga empleyado, especially karong panahon sa pandemya? Kaya I think a lot of employees are experiencing this kind of burnout.
If you are going to look at some anong tawag nito, kanang mga literatures o kung saan pag-manage aning burnout, daghan siya mga different strategies or suggestion on how to manage it. And siguro isa sa mga pwede natong buhaton is to evaluate our options. Siguro if nasa trabaho ta, we can discuss specific concerns with our supervisors. So maybe you can talk to your supervisors or boss on how to siguro manage expectations, especially during the pandemic. Kasi daghan na po kayo gipanghatag sa imo, mas work from home gani, pero mas nidaghan man noon ang gihatag na trabaho kay naara ka sa balay. Abi nila daghan kag time kung naa ka sa balay. So you can actually talk to your supervisor, create some compromise and of course solutions to the problem, and try to set goals. Kung unsa man ang pwede mabuhat, kung unsa man ang urgent na mga trabaho unon, o unsa tong mga trabaho na dili kay urgent na pwede nato ma-delay gamay. We can also parang seek support. Okay? So you can always reach out to your co-workers or to your supervisor and ask for support and collaboration to help you out in terms of accomplishing the task na kailangan nimo ma-accomplish during this pandemic. So if you have access naman din to some assistance program na binibigay ng university or ng organization ninyo, so I think I suggest that you need to take advantage of that. Okay? Another strategy na pwede po siguro nimo buhatan is try to find some value in your work. 'Di ba? Sometimes kailangan makita nato kung unsa ato ang role na para mas role sa trabaho para mas mapagaan ang ato ang pag-take ani na role. So like for example, if you are a teacher, so this is ano tawag na, kini nga trabaho, it's a very difficult job, and we are educating the future leaders of this country. So mga ingana ba na kanang magpa-motivate, magpahatag sa imo og maayong feeling, so you can also look at that, something like that. Okay, so siguro tan-awon po nimo na ang imuhang trabaho na ibili sa community. So by changing your attitude would actually by changing your attitude towards your job can actually help you regain that sense of purpose and control sa imuhang trabaho. Isa sa mga na-recommend po na po during this pandemic is ganing you find friends at work. You find new friends at work. Kung naamang kay friends daan, make more valued time with your friends. So having this particular strong community or strong ties in the workplace can actually help reduce the sense of monotony and of course kanang encounter nimo of burnout. So find some friends at work na kanang makarelate pod sa imuhang ginapasan na trabaho. Based on personal experience, kay heavy man kaya mo ang workload sa trabaho, no? Every weekend, like Friday after work, we have debriefing sessions. Kumusta ka after the week o after sa hell week nato sa trabaho? Kumusta ka? So nag-virtual session just to parang release the tensions na mga nararamdaman, and then we actually joke with one another sa mga sessions na to. Isa po siguro na pwede po natong buhaton, no? Kanang mag-take a break. Take time off from work. So burnout seem inevitable during this pandemic. So try to take some break from work. So go on a vacation. So over the weekend, kung naa kay sick leave, so pwede man nimo i-consume yung sick leave. I usually does that because we have like a sick leave every month. So I avail of that. So ang nilalagay ko lang sa remark is mental health break. So because mental health is very important and you can justify that na kailangan mo ng break. So temporary leave of absence can be one, just to remove yourself from the situation, okay? And then parang refocus your energy. So use that time to recharge your batteries, and then perhaps think of other things that could make you happy. Kung wala ka gyud kay time para gyud magkuano kanang break, probably you can set boundaries at work. Okay, so unsa man ning set boundaries? So learn to say no. Okay, learn to say no sa mga request sa imong time. Kung dili gyud kaya, you can always say no to the request na non-work related, or kung work related man, it might not be sa imuhag yung anong tawag nito, imuhag yung task. Kay namang giuban na magpatabang sa ilang trabaho. So kung nagtabang po ka sa ilaha, nawad-an po kag time para ma-complete po din mong trabaho, na-stress na noon ka, mas ma-burnout ka. Okay, so you have to set boundaries when to say yes to some requests and when to say no to some requests. Okay? Okay, kabalo ko, especially in the university, dili lang teaching ang ato ang ginabuhat, no? Na may mga request na ginapangayo sa ato ang department chair, sa dean o sa uban pa. It might not be related to teaching, admin work siya. Sometimes gani, wala di ta compensated ana. But kung natay time, we can do that. But kung wala gid time, and then you think that it will be a burden to you, then learn to say yes and compromise. Ma'am, pwede ba dili karon na week or dili karon na month? Pwede pa ba ni next month? Pwede ba ni siya next 2 months na ko buhaton? So learn to communicate properly with your boss. And look for compromises. Ayan. And then sometimes I know timely pud ni siya, we also need to take a break from technology. Okay, kabalo ko dagan kay tag online class, napatay online meetings, napagid tay mga online activities like this. Oh, I know this is helpful, but sometimes sometimes exposure to this technology and exposure to coronavirus news and other negative news can also is a factor that would affect our mental health. So siguro next month, ma-release to ang publication on coronavirus news exposure to mental health. So nakita namo na ang kaning mga news has an influence towards our mental health. So we're going to post that later on. Ayan. So I think those are just some of the strategies na pwede nato buhaton. I'm not saying that these are just ito lang yon. Marami pa po depending on how you cope up with other with the situation, with your burnout. Then pwede yun kaayo, daghan pa yun kaayo.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jason. Yes, I am very interested now to read your publication soon. Hopefully, makabasa ko na sa imong publication. And of course, me personally po I've been struggling with mental health and of course, especially languishing. So, what karon, Dr. Jason, makauban nato ang miyembro sa social media research team kung ahas sila nakakalap og mga issue o concerns gikan sa social media, lakip na ang mga published articles ug interviews. Akong ihatag ang panahon kang Miss Joanna Ruth Paloma, faculty member sa College of Arts and Sciences. Ma'am Joanna?
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much, Ma'am Nova and Sir Jade. Good morning, Dr. Jason Manaois. And we are very happy and honored from the social media research team to be here in our episode, our episode here in Share to Heal. Doc Jason, aduna kami duha ka questions lamang para sa imo. Again, nakalap ni namo sa different platforms o social media. So ang unang nga question, kabahin kini siya sa imong nasulti kaganina on saying no. So nadunggan nato kaganina nga ang mga signs sa employee burnout, ug matud pa sa usa ka article, nga ang employee burnout usa ka individual problem nga masulbad pinaagi sa pagsulti og no. So adunay mga empleyado nga maglisod siguro pod mahadlok magsulti nga dili nila kaya ang trabaho kay siguro aduna pay nangabilin nga mga trabaho kaniadto nga una nga mga weeks ug siguro bugat ang nabilin pa nga trabaho. So isip empleyado siguro sa gobyerno or maybe private nga mga institutions, unsaon nimo pagsulti nga dili nimo makaya ang gihatag nga trabaho sa imuha sa sakto gyud nga pamaagi nga dili malain ang imong head or ang imong boss. Kana siyang una nga pangutana, Doc Jason.
Sige. So siguro ako siyang i-answer based on how I do it, on how I say no to my boss. Oo, kay para mas konkreto na answer. Sa una, I really have difficulty communicating with my boss verbally, kanang one-on-one, face-to-face. So what I usually do is to write an email to my boss. Kasi mas nakaka-express ako, mas na-filter ko yung mga gusto kong sabihin sa email. So you can use that as a medium. Okay? So formal request, email. Pero kung natin opportunity to have a face-to-face interaction with our boss, mas better kasi mas personalized ang interaction. Okay? So, ang akong ginabuhat, kay mag-request ko og meeting or personal conversation. Kanang akong ginabutang sa akong email, sa akong boss. Ma'am, sir, can I ask for a personal conversation with you with regards to my work? And then, na ako'y gamay na mga ginabutang sa akong email about my difficulties and how I can parang seek support gikan sa iya kay murag na exhaust na nako ang brain sa pag think of solutions unya pili nako dili kaayo ing ka exhaustive ang solutions and I want to seek support sa iya. So I think that's the role of the supervisors and the boss to help us out manage our work. Kung dili nato siya i-communicate, abira nila na okay rata diha sa boss, okay rata sa atong mga trabaho. So it's very important to communicate this. So kung dili gyud ma-compromise, then we say no. Okay? So not necessarily paghatag diha mag-no dayon ka. Diba? Ang akong suggestion is to think over it, kung kaya ba. Kung kaya, kung dili kaya, then you compromise with your boss. Kay nga naman, ang atong boss nang hatag sa ato og trabaho because he or she thinks na kaya nato na. Okay? Naa siya sense of trust and confidence na kaya nimo na buhaton. Nga nang akong pagtanaw ha, that's how I see my boss giving me work. But if, for me, I lack the necessary skills, I lack the necessary confidence to finish the work on time, I need to communicate that ahead of time so that we can manage expectations from our boss. How? Through email or through face-to-face. Depende kung unsa ka comfortable, asa ka komportable.
Okay, daghan kayong salamat, Doc Jason, na nga pag-answer nimo sa atong unang nga question. Sa second nato nga question diri, sir, adunay klase-klase ka mga employee burnout survey forms aron matest kung unsa ang intensity or kung naka-experience or paka-experience ba gyud ang mga empleyado og burnout. Epektibo ba kining survey form sa pagsulbad niini nga problema? Doc Jace?
Sige. I will going to answer that in a researcher's point of view. Kanina mga tool, importante para sa ako as a researcher that they are validated, psychometric properties, yung mga technicalities in terms of using questionnaires, mga standardized tools. And for me, kailangan naka-culture fit ni na mga tools in our culture. Okay, most of these are Western surveys. Okay, it might not be a reflection of our culture. So kailangan siya transform, culture fit, and something to that effect. Okay, so importante kaya na for me. Okay, now, in a clinician's perspective, naay ubang tao manggod na pag nag-take og exam, tapos nakita nila ilahang score, nami-misinterpret. So, taas kaayo. It leads to more problem. Okay? Pero naapoy mga tao na mag-take for personal growth, mga ingana, na nakaka-manage na mag-interpret correctly with the results. Okay? So, naa siya advantage and disadvantage using kaning mga free nato na mga tools na makita nato sa internet. Okay? So muna siya ang concerns with these tools. Pero ang ako ang masuggest is that there are certain applications available in the Philippines na ang mga tools are culture fit and of course endorsed by the Department of Health. So ang project, the USAID Renew Health Project together with DOH and Psychological Association of the Philippines actually created different programs on how to improve resilience ng mga Pinoy. So siguro some of you have heard about the Katatagan Online. So this is a psychoeducation that builds resilience. So makatake ka ani ng mga courses online for free. That is because of the Psychological Association of the Philippines. And kanina project, kaning Katatagan Online, gi-adapt ni, gikuha ni sa DOH, Department of Health, ug makita dadto sa ilahang Lusog Isip app. Kaning Lusog Isip app is you can search on this, you can download the app in your phone, whether it's iOS or Android. Then you can take some tests to know ano na ba yung level ng well-being mo. And then kapag meron kang score doon, let's say you are high, low, or moderate, then magre-recommend siya ng mga specific anong tawag nito, self-help activities to further improve your well-being. So naa day tayong mga available resources karon na in-endorse din ng DOH kaning Lusog Isip app that you can actually use. So naa siya survey, naa siya mga questionnaire to first assess kung asa naman ka sa imong well-being, sa imong mental health. And then based on your score, naa siya mga recommendation na pwede nimo i-take na mga different interventions, self-help intervention. And one of which is the Katatagan Online. And naapod tayo ka ng for general intervention kung daghan pa. So you can actually explore that app. It's for free. They just launched it, I think, last November 2021. And then naana siya around more than 50,000 users as of now. And we want to have more users for that app.
Thank you very much for those information, Dr. Jason, no? Especially for mentioning the Lusog Isip app that provides toolkit to improve our mental health. Thank you very much, Dr. Jason. Once again, this is Joanna Ruth Sario Paloma. Those were the questions from the social media research team. Thank you, Dr. Jason, and back to you, Ma'am Nova and Sir Jade.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Paloma. Ma'am Joanna Ruth, thank you so much. Alang no sa atong gapananaw o gapaminaw ang inyong mga pangutana kini matubag sa adlong Biyernes diha makita sa posting sa FB account page sa pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian. So, may mga pangutana i-post lang niyo sa Facebook no and andami mo tubag ana this coming Friday. So, dagan gyud yes.
Partner Jade, na lang ako ipangutana kan Doc Jason.
Okay. Sige.
Kung pwede ko mag-follow up question.
Sige.
Kanan Doc Jason, kung tanaw na to sa lahi na po na perspective, what if ang unit head, ang naka-experience of burnout, kung saan niya reach out sa iyahang kauban?
Simple lang. Recently, based on my experience din, no, na my boss, parang she needs to go to surgery next week. So ang iyang gibuhat is to prepare people before she leaves. So people should know kung unsa ang iyahang mental health or sa iyahang concern. And then she wants to delegate the task that she usually does. So that, of course, importante din na hindi maputol yung services ng organization kapag wala siya. So the boss also needs to communicate to his people or her people about his or her health condition, and then try to delegate some tasks na kaya ng mga tao so that maintain pa rin yung services na ginagawa natin sa community. And then of course, pagbalik niya, hindi rin siya yung mga backlogs, hindi din ganun kalaki. So importante din to delegate tasks.
Thank you so much, Doc Jason. Partner Jade, mo lang to akong pangutana.
Yes. And of course, how about our share to win, Partner Nova?
Yes, makahigala. Before nato i-proceed ang ito ang share to win, mapasalamaton kayo kang Doc Jason Manaois sa katong mga inputs kaganina. Standby lang sa ata, sir, for your final messages. Ato sang ihatag ang ato ang share to win nga segment karon sa ato ang programang Share to Heal. So naatay mga mananaway o katong mga gasubay gyud sa ato ang programa sa Share to Heal o isa sa ilahang mga gapang hulatan, Partner Jade, mao ang kaning Share to Win. Kung asa maminaw lang sila sa ato ang program every Wednesday, alas 9 sa buntag, ug sa katong mga naa sa Facebook or naa sa online platform, ilahang i-like o i-share ang mga Facebook pages kung asa makita ang live stream sa ato ang episode, dinha sa Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian Facebook page o sa DXBU 104.5 FM na Facebook page. Sa katong mga gapaminaw sa radyo, pwede nilang i-text ang ilahang answer sa ato ang number na 0917-880-6795. Atong utrohon, 0917-880-6795. Kauban ang ilahang kompleto nga pangalan ug asa sila nakapaminaw sa ato ang programa. So nindot kini siya nga segment sa ato partner kay break pud ni siya sa ato ang pag-interview sa ato ang mga guest o makahatag og pahalipay sa mga gapaminaw. Diba, naminaw sila sa atong mga inputs, nakadaog pagid sila sa ato ang Share to Win. So sa katong mga nakapaminaw karon og naka-tune in, mao na ni ang ato ang question for the day. Sa Bisaya nga question, duha man ni kalingwahe atong ipaghatag sa atong pangutana. Matod sa APA Dictionary of Psychology, mao kini ang physical, emotional, o mental nga kakapoy inubanan sa pagkunhod sa kadasig, pagkunhod sa performance, ug pagkaadunay negatibo nga panlantaw o kinaiya ngadto sa kaugalingon ug sa uban. So kung ato na siyang i-translate nga trivia question into English, according to the APA Dictionary of Psychology, this term is defined as the physical, emotional, or mental exhaustion accompanied by decreased motivation, lowered performance, and negative attitude towards oneself and others. So kung naiga pangutana din na karon unsay clue sa ato ang trivia question, one word lang ni siya mga higala na ay 7 ka-letters. And anang 7 ka-letters maghatag ta og 3 ka buok na letters nga makita din ha. Na ay letters B, na ay letter B, letter N, ug letter T. So, unsa pa inyong gihulat, pwede na mo mag-text sa ato ang number 0917-880-6795 alang sa katong mga nakapaminaw sa ilahang mga radyo karon ug sa katong naka-watch sa atong Facebook live stream din ha, i-comment sa Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian Facebook page. And the winners will be announced on Wednesday, partner. Kay sayod man ta nga pre-recorded niya ang ato ang episode karon. So Webes nila ma-receive ang ilahang prizes. And of course, 100 pesos. Isa ka 100 pesos na load ang ihatag sa
100 pesos.
Duhan sila. Care of sa ato ang Extension Director, Doc Gemaline D. Paulican. Thank you so much. Mao lang kato siya, partner, para sa atong share to win. Sa katong mga naka-miss out, ato na siyang i-review again ang question later on after sa ato ang second guest.
Yes. Daghan kayo salamat diha, partner, no? And of course, daghan gyud ning natun-an sa imuha Dr. Jason. Daghan kayong challenges gyud karon, no? Especially sa mental health sa panahon sa pandemya. And of course, communicative relation is very important. So, atong tawagon pagbalik si Dr. Jason.
Yes.
Yes. As much as we want to chat with you more, but we don't have enough time. So, naa ba kayo mga parting message to our listeners, Dr. Jason?
Siguro sa tanang mga empleyado, pareha ka na ako, no, na we always need to take pause and reflect kung asa naman ta sa atong mental health. So, kailangan ka ng self-awareness kung naatay mga gibati, naatay mga unusual things na nararamdaman. So, I think that's a signal that we need to take a pause and reflect kung basi na burnout na ta. Okay? Kung naamang kay burnout, dili ka nagka-inusara. So, pwede rin kaayo ka mo ask of help sa laing tao. At the same time, posible kaayo na naapoy programa ang inyong organization to help out the people who are experiencing burnout. So, kana lang, ayaw kahadlok na mag-take og break. Oo, kay ang trabaho naara diha, pero ang imong health, dili gud na siya mapulihan. With that, thank you very much and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jason Manaois. Daghan kaayong salamat pag-usab.
Karon, partner Jade, magbalik na ta sa ato ang hisgutanan on mental health. Uban ang ato ang ikaduhang guest karon nga buntag. Sa before pa nato siya i-introduce, mag-recap lang tagamay kaganina gisgutan ni Doc Jason Manaois kung unsa ang meaning sa burnout. Mo din siya ang prolonged stress. Na kung daghan na kay kag-stress nga na-experience, ma-fall siya into burnout. So, mo din na siya nga maghatag din siya og other effects sa imuha, physical, mental, emotional, until mawala ang imuhang gana to work on. And it's different from the word stress. So, kato siya. And of course, dili lang ta dito na-discuss ang meaning sa burnout. Ato pong nabalaan ang mga ways and means kung saan na ito pag-prevent. kung saan pag-reduce ang atong mga na-experiences sa burnout. Nindot kay unta pa nga hisgutanan to siya partner, pero karon nga buntag mag-proceed ta sa ato ang other dimension na on mental health gihapon. Kini ilang gitawag nga toxic positivity. Sa ako ang personal nga pagsabot ni partner, dili lang sa ako istorya kay basin sa sayo pa akong pagsabot. So morning nindot nga mahibal-an nato gikan gyud sa ato ang expert. Mao kini karon kauban nato si Dr. Mae V Cañal mag-isgot on toxic positivity. I-introduce lang nako siya gamay partner J-Log sa atong mga tigpaminaw. Si Doc Mae Cañal usa ka registered guidance counselor, usa pud ka registered psychometrician o licensed professional teacher. Iyahang natapos ang iyahang BS Psychology dinha sa Silliman University ug adunay degree in Masters in Education in Guidance and Counseling sa Samar State University ug doctor po siya karon partner sa iyang nahuman ang PhD in Psychology, major in Counseling dinha sa Ateneo de Davao University. Mga higala atong i-welcome Dr. Mae V Cañal. Hello Doc Mae, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Doc Mae, let us go straight to the questions na importante kayo nga madunggan sa ato mga kapaminaw karon. Can you tell us something, Doc Mae, on what is toxic positivity? O kanus adi ay nga mahimong toxic ang kaning concept on positivity?
Okay, good morning and once again to our also viewers. Excuse me from our FB Live and those who are actually hearing us from radio. Good morning. Again, when we talk about toxic positivity, it is actually referring to our belief or referring to our assumption that despite of having the difficulty or challenges in life, or we are having struggles, that we need to maintain a positive mindset. We have this belief sometimes that having a negative emotions is bad at all, or it actually dangerous. So sometimes an individual is actually being trapped of thinking about that. We need to portray a positive emotions and we need to avoid negative emotions such as sadness, fear, the disappointment. So we have all those notions sometimes. And that is actually what we call toxic positivity. So when does positivity becomes toxic? Number one, there is nothing wrong between having a positive outlook in life, because in one way or another, being positive or having positive perspective in life, it allows us to be motivated, or it acts as a driving force for us to attain our goal and objective in life. But just like anything that is actually done in exists, can also affect us. For example, too much positivity, if we use too much positivity up to the point that we cover up our negative emotions, then that's the time that it actually becomes toxic, because the tendency for us is to be in a state of denial of our current situation, of our current feelings and our emotions. And sometimes it leads an individual to actually suppress their feeling. So being too optimistic, sometimes we tend to engage in positive thinking, tendency also for us to falsify our emotions and feelings. So we tend to be cheerful, or sometimes we falsely parang portray a positive image with people. So therefore, it allows us to live in disguise. So that's the problem with toxic positivity.
Na ako'y concern o mga pangutana din Doc Mae nga ang kana bang pag-ingon nga makita nimo imong kauban nga nagkalisod na sa iyahang work siguro, or sa iyang ka-experiences na sa life, tapos moingon ra ka sa iyahang okay ra lagi na ma-okay ra ka, unsa na siya, consider ba na siya toxic?
That is, excuse me I'm having some cough. So actually, that is actually toxic positivity. That is actually something that we usually do. Example with people, like you've mentioned, like okay ka lang, parang okay lang yan, parang it has a reason. Parang you are actually teaching the person not to face his or her current dilemma and his current emotion. Parang you are telling the person that, for example, situations like you feel disappointed about something that you've decided on, or what is happening in your life, and parang you say parang you will say that happiness is a choice. Parang it seems like you choose not to be happy at all because happiness is a choice. Parang that is also an example of toxic positivity. Parang we need to choose to be happy, and it is our fault why we are not happy at all.
Yes, Doc, kay halos sa mga ang ako lang nakakita experiences din kanang magtanaw ko sa social media, especially sa Instagram, kay daghan kaayong mga gapanggawas nga mga unsa man siya, mga comforting words pero toxic positivity na dayto siya. Tapos muging siya og daghan likes, muging siya og daghan heart reacts. So gikinahanglan siguro nga panahon na gyud nga i-change ang mindset nato anang toxic positivity, nga pwede ra gyud ay allow nato atong self to feel the negative emotions. And kung kita lugar bali ang nakadungog sa tong kauban nga dili ra gyud ay insakto mag-ingon nga okay ra na. So dapat i-allow na to siya na i-feel ang situation. Tama ba ang akong pagsabot, Doc?
Yes, correct. Because kasi if we prevent the person to feel disappointed, parang we also prevent the person not to be authentic with himself. So parang kailangan i-peking niya lahat. And sometimes because of this parang we inhibit the person to gain social support coming from other people because we do not acknowledge that this person actually is experiencing something, or the person is actually hurting, or she's into pain.
That would lead me to my second question, Doc May. So unsa day nga pamaagi nato mabalaan o kanang matag na nga nagmanifest na di ay og toxic positivity ang usa ka tawo?
Basically, we can say that we are experiencing toxic positivity. First, siguro, when we feel guilt or have this feeling that when we are having negative emotion, tapos nakukonsensya tayo because of this negative emotion, that is actually one. That parang a reason na toxic positivity na po siya talaga.
And there's a question here also, Doc May. Why is toxic positivity unhealthy or harmful?
Basically, like what I've said earlier, having a positive outlook is actually good for our mental health. So the problem is that in reality and in real situation, life is not always good. There are bad sides in life, and whether we like it or not, we actually experience difficulties. We actually experience challenges in life. So sometimes too much positivity can also cause a problem with our mental health, because the tendency for us to repress our emotions instead of allowing to vent out what we feel and with the current situations that we are right now. So it becomes already harmful to the person, especially for those who are actually encountering a difficulty already. Parang you stop them from being authentic from themselves, from opening what they really feel inside, that they really need to talk to someone. So that is can already cause harmful to the individual, because sometimes parang we inhibit the persons to to feel normal, that negative and positive emotions are normal feelings and normal emotions that we may encounter in life.
Siguro ako ma-relate na, Doc May, is for example na kay decisions already in mind, dayon wala nimo na fulfill ang kana nga commitment, tapos siguro din kasi imong self ba nga kana okay ra siguro puhon na lang nako na buhaton, wala pa man sad ang inana nga na experience ako until moabot ang time gyud ka na I feeling of guilt kay wala kay imo ra man gi-allow pud nga okay ra na siya. So nahimo na nun nga delikado na harm na gyud hinuod ka personally sa imong mga decisions nga na make.
Yes, and in a way, it also prevent yourself from growth, from facing your problem and trying to come up with the strategies on how you can actually cope up with your current challenges in life.
Thank you very much, Doc May. Atong makauban karon, Doc May, napay magpangutana gikan sa atong social media.
Yes, nasa ko'y pangutana pod, partner. Okay, yes, Doc. This is very interesting a topic, no? I've learned the hard way that the extremes are not good, like toxic negativity and toxic positivity. So if we want to be authentic persons, we have to embrace everything that life gives, not just only the beautiful things, but also the unpleasant and everything else in between. So people who expect happiness only and happiness always could be toxic din pala. So positive vibes only is toxic because life is beautiful and life is also painful. And with conviction, I could really attest to that. So Dr. May, how can we be positive na dili siya mahimong toxic? Especially sa kultura nato nga mga Filipino, nga we need to always look at the brighter side.
Again, there is nothing wrong with being positive and having perspective in life, especially with us Filipino. We are very resilient at madali tayong bumangon. Kaya lang sometimes we need to be authentic with ourselves. We don't need to pretend that things are okay when in fact it is not okay. Diba? This is something that our culture kasi could parang, diba, pares ang mga lalaki, hindi sila pwedeng umiyak, they are prevented from it to express themselves. So that is actually one of the problem of our culture also. And sometimes we also do that to ourselves, especially to us who are in the academy. Sometimes we have, especially this pandemic, we need to pretend that we are okay when in fact we are not okay at all. Parang ganon. So, it's okay that from time to time, we need to feel bad about it because ganun talaga. Masama ang loob natin. We feel this way. Pero it does not necessarily mean that we dwell on it. Kasi our emotions also is an opportunity for us to grow, at the same time to assess, to reflect, and to come to, and it's also a way for us to process as an individual so that we can see the brighter side and come up with the right solution with our current situation.
Thank you so much, Dr. May. Thank you. Partner, back to you.
Okay. Doc May, atong makauban karon isa ka member gihapon sa social media research team. Atong i-welcome si Sir Eminhil Earl Idulsa, faculty member sa College of Education. Na siya mga pangutana, Doc May, na ilang nakuha gikan din sa published articles o mga interviews gikan sa social media. Sir Earl?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Doc May, good morning, ma'am. So I have here 2 questions, ma'am, from the social media. So first question, ma'am, is I key in Twitter #toxic positivity, and there are a lot of posts about toxic positivity. So mabasa nato sa mga tweet sa katawhan or mga posts sa uban pang social media, ug atong masabot, ma'am, nga adunay mga naandan na nga response sa mga tao nga naay problema nga ma-classify di ay nato nga toxic positivity without knowing it. Sama sa katong giingan kagini nga, hoy, okay ra lagi na siya. So ma'am, unsa man ang atong buhaton kung ayha pa nato na realize, nakapaminaw ta sa share to heal, ma'am, ayha pa nato na realize nga toxic positivity di ay kadtong atong nabuhat. What can we do to the person nga nakakosta og toxic positivity sa iyaha, ma'am?
Okay, number 1, with the presence of social media, parang madali tayong maapektuhan. Like, kahit may problema tayo, pag nakikita natin may positive quotes, tapos it allows us to reflect, ay, parang mali pala yung feeling ko. Parang it invalidates our feeling. Parang it allows us to feel like less as a person. So number 1 is we need to correct with that one. Na parang hindi pa talaga okay na umiyak. hindi ba talaga ako tao para hindi ako masaktan? That is very important. We need to accept the fact na tao tayo. Kahit faculty ka, may nararamdaman ka rin. Kahit psychology major ka, psychologist ka, practitioner ka ng mental health, may nararamdaman ka rin. So we need to limit our exposure to social media if we think that it's actually parang helping us to inherit toxic positivity. Number 2, we need also to change our approach next time, especially in talking with people. Let us allow people to talk when they have problems. Do not, let's not stop them from, with the concept na you need to live a life with a positive perspective in life and parang nagbibigay tayo ng konsepto na hindi maganda na nagpo-portray ka ng negative emotions o nagpapakita ka ng negative emotions or parang mas okay na dapat happy ka. That is number 2. And number 3, as much as possible, we should refrain from giving optimistic responses to other people. And it also includes ourselves. Kasi sometimes, mas okay pa rin na maniwala na kung ano ang nararamdaman mo, yun talaga ang nararamdaman. We don't need to pretend. Yes.
All right. So the follow-up question on question number 1.
Yes.
So, what is the better way po? Ano po ang better way of helping people who are experiencing bad situations or problems?
Okay, siguro for people who are experiencing bad problems or having problem with toxic positivity, siguro number 1 is we need to manage our negative emotions, but we don't need to but we don't need to deny them. Again, our negative emotions is a window so that we can actually process our current situations and along the way come up with the right strategies and the right way to actually solve our problems. And second is that we need to be realistic of what we should feel at the current. Yun yung sinasabi ko, kung nasasaktan ka, aminin mo na nasasaktan ka. Kung gusto mong umiyak, umiyak ka. Hindi naman necessary na paglalaki ka, bawal ka umiyak. Sino ba may sabi? Siguro kultura natin. Pero sa panahon naman ngayon, wherein we are very accepting, diba? Yun yung sinasabi ko, yung ibang tao na iintindihan mo when they are into it. So how about yourself? So hindi ka bawasan kung ma-acknowledge mo na mayroon kang pinapagdaan. Parang gano'n.
Okay. So Doc, for our last question, sometimes Doc, it is very hard when you are in a situation that you are surrounded with people who are not aware of the concept or the idea of toxic positivity, and that's what they do, no? They don't realize that what they are doing is a toxic positivity. So Doc, how do we cope up as if we have problems? For example, we are feeling those negative emotions. How do we cope up if these are the people that surrounds us and we just want to share our problems or to let it out? So what are the coping mechanisms, kung baga, Doc?
Number 1, we need to be grounded on our own boundaries and beliefs. That's one. Because when our belief system being affected by other people, doon po lahat nagkakaproblema. Doon lahat nagsisimula ang lahat. You tend to adapt things that you see, like toxic positivity, thinking that it is the right way to cope with your current problems. Or sometimes because we need to have this belief system that we need to be okay always, that this negative emotion is not okay, we divert our attention with negative coping mechanism, like we lead into alcohol instead of talking with our current situations and just allowing to cry or to look for someone that we can actually talk to. So for example, if you are into something or you have problems or you have bad days, number 1 is siguro you look for someone whom you can actually trust. This is very important because disclosure is not actually easy, especially di ba sometimes ayaw natin na may mga sekreto tayo na nabubunyag. Diba? Parang feeling kasi natin pag may problema tayo or may pinagdadaanan tayo, parang less ka as a person Parang ganun. So, you look for someone whom you can trust, whom you can actually talk to, whom you can actually vent out. So, if you are the someone na trusted with this person, allow the person to talk, allow the person to cry. Ibigay mo yung moment sa kanya, wag ka na rin maki-moment. Parang ganun ba? Parang, and then, whatever na na-confide sa'yo, you make it confidential and secret between the two of you. Pero in cases na hindi mo na talaga kaya, you look for mental health practitioners. You look for a counselor or a psychologist that can do counseling or therapy with you so that they can actually help you for your treatment and for your therapy to go back again with your current state.
Thank you so much, Doc. That's all from the social media research team. Back to you, Ma'am Nova.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Early Dulsa from the College of Education and members sa ato ang social media research team. Doc May, naay mga list of questions din pero natubag naman nimo kaganina sa mga gikan sa mga pangutana gyapon ni Sir Earl, naalay isa ka question din Doc nga medyo in need gid ni siya nga i-raise nato. Aside atong app nga na-mention ni Dr. Jason katong Lusog, sige ito siya partner Jade, wala nako katong na-app nga na-mention si Sir Jason kaganina. Nabay mga free consultation sites nga pwede maadtuan sa atong mga Filipino nga citizens. If, for example, Lusog Isip app, thank you very much, Doc Jason. Aside ani nga app, nga available di ay karon sa ato ang mga mobile phones, naabay pwede maadtuan pa nga other na platforms ang ato ang mga persons naka-experience o mga burnout pa kaha or toxic positivity.
First siguro hindi kinakailangan na lumayo tayo. For example, for our students, we have guidance office, I think. Guidance bang tawag din sa inyo? So, all offices, all schools and institutions, they have actually a guidance office. It also offers online counseling and limited face-to-face counseling. Siguro, depende sa degree ng current problem. So, number one is, i-maximize nyo muna kung ano mayroon kayo sa school. You ask what are the services ng mga student services that the student can actually avail of. Baka may mental health program sila, baka may counseling program sila, baka may online counseling sila. So, doon po tayo. So, for institution naman, especially this pandemic, it is also an opportunity for us to serve our student and come up with activity like this one. So, for our students, take this an opportunity to listen para sa ganito na mayroon kayong every Wednesday. Kasi hindi lahat ng school, or you look also for other school who are also offering the same. For example, in Samar State University, our office or Student Welfare and Development Services, we actually offer different symposiums and webinar that also discusses about mental health issues. So you also take that as an opportunity so that by listening, it can also enrich your knowledge and come up with coping strategies and coping mechanism that actually help you to cope with the current situation and also to help you if you are also experiencing toxic positivity. Pero at the end of the day, if you feel not good or bad about the situation, you can ask your professor for a referral to a certain guidance counselor or a psychologist or a mental health practitioner in that matter.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mae V. Cañal, for answering those questions and also for taking time na makauban ka namo. Sa dili pa ka namo buhian, Dr. Mae Cañal, na akay mga final message para sa ato ang mga gapaminaw karon, especially those with designations and also students o katong mga ordinaryo nga mga tao nga gapaminaw gyapon karon sa ilang mga panimalay.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity for Bukidnon State University. Number one, we don't need to pretend that we are not okay. If we are not okay, let us just be honest and let us just be authentic with ourselves. Because when we are authentic, we are honest, we can actually gain social support from other people. But if we manifest toxic positivity, the tendency is feeling ng mga tao okay tayo when in fact hindi tayo. So it prevents other people in helping us. Number two, remember that we are still in the pandemic. So what is our feeling right now? If we are disappointed, we are sad, it's actually normal. Meaning it's normal to feel positive emotions and negative emotions. It's normal. It is an opportunity and window to process. It is an opportunity for us to strategize and come up with the right solution. So when being optimistic again is okay, as long as we need to acknowledge our emotion. Do not deny whatever feeling that you have right now. If you are struggling, you are struggling. So remember that it's always okay not to be okay. So when in time that you feel that you are not really okay, look for someone whom you can actually talk to. Or you look for a mental health practitioners that can actually help you go through with your current situation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mae V. Cañal, ang atuang second guest sa hisgutan ng toxic positivity. Partner Jade, atong balikon ang atuang share to win nga trivia question.
Yes, sige. Para sure good to win, atong i-share ug balik ang share to win. So mao kini ang mechanics. So listen or watch the program every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Like and share the pages of Pagambitay Daw Ag Kaulian and DXBU 104.5 FM if you are watching the live stream, and watch out for the trivia question. So for FB viewers, comment the answer to the main account of Pagambitay Daw Ag Kaulian FB page. For listeners on radio, text your answer to 0917-880-6795. Again, 0917-880-6795 with your name and where you are listening from. Again, with your name and where you are listening from. Your social media account manager will contact you for claiming of prize. And of course, ang makadaog, makuha nila ang ilang premyo. So, ang pangutana sa Bisaya, matud sa APA Dictionary of Psychology, mao kini ang physical, emotional, o mental nga kakapoy inubanan sa pagkunhod sa kadasig, pagkunhod sa performance, ug pagkaadunay negatibo nga kinaiya ngadto sa kaugalingon ug sa uban. Sa English, according to the APA Dictionary of Psychology, this term is defined as the physical, emotional, or mental exhaustion accompanied by decreased motivation, lowered performance, and negative attributes towards oneself and others. So, para sure yun nga makadaog ang clue sa kini ka word na ay 7 ka letra o adunay B, N ug T sa ani nga word. So alang sa mga atong mga naghatag og answer sa trivia, mapilian ang inyong pangalan ug i-post sa adlong Huwebes dinha makita sa posting sa FB account page sa Pagambitay Daw Ag Kaulian.
So, kaganina, gimension ni Partner Jade ang atuang trivia question. So, panahon na nga atong ihatag ang correct answer karon. So, ang atuang correct answer is burnout. Spelled as B-U-R-N-O-U-T. So, atong prize sponsor karon nga episode gikan kang Doc Jem Paulikan, 100 pesos mga higalang inyuhang madawatan. So, busa text na gikan sa ato ang text winner, magpili og isa ug sa ato ang Facebook winner. So, katong Partner Jade ang ato ang answer sa atong trivia question. Ang mapilian nga mananaog dinha makita sa ato ang postings tomorrow ug mga adlaw Huwebes sa ato ang Pagambitay Daw Ag Kaulian. So, napamoy 24 hours para mag-send sa inyong answer. Correct na answer. O mapilihan, makadaog 100 pesos na load ikan sa ato ang sponsor for this episode. So salamat po kayo mga higala sa inyong pagpaminaw, pag-tune in sa ato ang programang Pagambitay Daw Ag Kaulian. Ayaw kalimti nga dinha sa ato ang live stream na ay evaluation link. Kami gusto makabalo kung unsa pa ang mga angayan i-improve sa tuang program o basin amoy mga gusto mahisgot nga mga topics dinha ibutang sa suggestion nga part sa tuang evaluation form. So ayaw kalimti nga sa dili pa mo mag-exit, mag-log out sa inyong Facebook karon, mag-send sa inyong evaluation link kay kana gyud makatabang sa atuang programa ug sa inyong programa. So panahon na partner Jade nga ato nagtapuso ng atuang episode karon. Sa ngalan sa atuang lead extensionist ug sa atuang program leader, the University President Dr. Oscar B. Cabanyeles, sa atuang project leader, ang Vice President for Research, Extension and Innovations, Dr. Joy Molina Mirasol, kauban silang Dr. Gemaline B. Paulican, Extension Director, ug ang mga kaubanan nga member sa IEC team, Ms. Astrid Jill Agravante gikan sa Broadcast Communication and Technical Team, Mr. Jake Peras and members sa Instructional Integration Team, Ms. Joan Vivian S. Belderol Nicosia para sa Program and Development Team, Mr. John Daniel Ching and members sa Research Team, Ms. Joanna Ruth Sario Paloma, and Sir Earl Idosa sa Social Media Research Team, Dr. Marlon Frias, Dr. Estela Itaas sa Monitoring and Evaluation, and of course, to Dr. Mariza Manlagaylay sa atuang pagpili sa atuang mga guests o pag-identify sa atuang mental health nga topiko karon sa atuang pag-ambitay daw ang kaulian. Ako si Nova 30 Agravante.
Salamat sa inyong pakiguban kanamo nining ika-13 na nga episode with our topic on mental health. It's okay not to be okay. So sa ngalan sa kinatibuk ang puwersa, si biyahanan sa DXB 104.5 FM, uban sa atong station director, Engineer Manuel Chad Agurob, sa technical department, kauban si Lloyd Anthony Gonzalez, Gabriel Diwalay, and Rod Bolivar, atong documenter nga si Roliver Sawalan, kauban si Nova 30 Agravantes, kini si Jade Harley Bretanya. Salamat sa inyong pagpaminaw hangtod sa sunod Miyerkules alas 9 ang takna sa buntag diri lamang sa programang Pag-ambitay daw ag kaulian, Share to Heal, a radio-based social innovation project of Bukidnon State University. Keep safe, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.